Well, hello. Long time no see. Today, there was a blog post that was posted that contained some information about an update that is coming in the future regarding companions, bonding runestones, and, well, that's pretty much it. But the changes that are coming are very important and pretty big changes, so it's pretty important that you at least understand what is coming so that you're not, super panicked on the day that it does happen. But I just think it's important for people to know the stuff that is upcoming, especially with the holiday sales and Zen sales and stuff coming up, at least as they were hinted in this blog post. That's the reason why we know this stuff so early, but this isn't even going to be on preview until the first week of December, and that is the hopeful date. It could get pushed back, of course, but hopefully this kind of stuff will be on preview the first week of December and we will get to test it out. Now that I've gotten through all that, you're all probably wondering, well, what even are the changes? You haven't even talked about them yet. I'm going to do it right now. Don't worry. I'm going to run through the 3 biggest changes real quick and then I will elaborate a little bit. So 1, bonding runestones are being removed. 2, the companion influence stat is being removed. And 3, augments are being changed and fighting companions are being changed, and you can exchange bonding runestones for either other enchantments or runestones or astral diamonds. That was more than 3, but, you know me, you should have expected that by now. Anyways, so yes, bonding runestones are being removed, which is something I wasn't really expecting, but a lot of people are saying it's a change that will end up being for the better, although it is, of course, a source of frustration, confusion, and concern right now. But you will be able to exchange these runestones for an enchantment or runestone of the same rank, or you can just exchange them for astral diamonds. A rank 15 one will get you 2.6 million AD. So I'll be able to exchange some for some rank 15 radiance, which I have been needing for my other characters, and that's pretty exciting. The next change is that companions are giving different amounts of stats and having increased item level and stuff. And these changes will raise a lot of questions, but first we have to kind of go over what they actually are. So companions are having their base item level increased, and it's going up to 1000 item level for a legendary companion. It's currently 100 item level on the live server, so it's going up 10 times, which is pretty significant. And companions are also going to grant stats at the same rate as other sources of item level, which my tiny brain doesn't fully comprehend what that means. But my understanding is that you will get more stats than you did before from companions, especially because you won't have bonding runestones anymore. Also, companion bolster is going to be pretty much the same as the mount bolster currently is. A legendary rank companion will grant 10% bolster to its category. There's still going to be the 5, I think there's 5, maybe there's 6 categories of companions, like mystical and beasts and stuff. And the maximum bolster will be 100%, the same as mounts, but for companions, it's only going to take the top 5 highest quality companions in a certain category. And this kind of leads into the fact that you can upgrade your companions to mythic quality. I don't know how many companion upgrade tokens that's going to cost, but I'm going to go ahead and make an assumption that it will be 200 because that's what it costs to upgrade a mythic mount. So a mythic companion will grant 20% towards the bolster, and then if you have 5 mythic companions in any of the same category, basically the same category as the companion you have summoned, you will have 100% bolster, which will give you more stats than before, and it also will increase the item level of the companion, which is why it will give you more stats, because item level is based on the number of stats that you get. Now, this is kind of where it gets a tiny bit more complicated. I can understand it, so I'm sure it's not that complicated, but it's a little bit more complicated than what we were currently talking about. So augment companions are being changed so that they will give 85% of their item level in combined rating, and the remaining 15% is split across the 3 special stats, the enhancement that's given by a given companion. So let's say that you have a legendary companion. Just using legendary as an example because it's a lot easier to do math with. So a legendary companion has 1000 base item level. Not going to calculate bolster into that because you can kind of do that on your own because it's just a percentage. But 85% of that will be given to your combined rating, which will increase all of your stats, so 850. is 85% of 1,000, so you'll get 850 to all of your stats, and then the remaining 15% will be split across the 3 extra, I guess you could call them bonus enhancement stats given by a companion. So, like, that could be power, defense, you know, the enhancement bonuses that companions have that give you extra stats. Okay, I feel like I'm not explaining this very well. And then you have the bolster, which will increase your companion's item level further, and then that will give you even more stats. But then you have fighting companions, which will do, the first part of that will be the same. Fighting companions will still give 85% of their item level to combined rating, but the rest of it is just accounted for by the fact that they are dealing damage and augments don't. So you don't get that extra 15% anywhere. So you're losing out. Augments are only going to have 15% more stats than fighting companions, and that's only for the 3 specific stats that its bonus has. So I'm wondering if augments are going to become a thing of the past again, or if people are going to just go back to regular fighting companions. All these questions that are being raised are things that we're going to have to watch and check it out on preview and kind of see what's going on. I don't want to make too many assumptions. There's a couple other questions that immediately raise up as well, and that is what happens to companion influence. That is one of the stats, the utility stat for the dark enchantment, and it's on the dominance insignias. What is going to replace that? Some people are saying that it'll be movement speed again on the dark enchantments, and as much as that would be amazing, I almost said awful for some reason. I really love movement speed, but that would be really amazing. However, they did remove that, specifically remove that in mod 16, so I feel like they would be kind of hesitant to re-add that again. So I have a feeling that it's not going to be that, but I do hope I'm wrong. And then as far as the dominance insignias go, I really don't know what they could put there because dominance insignias never had movement speed on them. But we will hopefully be able to see these things whenever it goes on preview. This is just kind of like a, hey, heads up type of thing before the sale so that you are aware of what's happening and don't spend your money on something that's going to be disappearing a few weeks later. Another thing that's changing as a result of this is runestones and enchantments in general. Their item level is going to go up, and then you're going to get more stats from them, of course. And that's kind of a compensation for the removal of bondings, and it also is to give them a better ratio to the other places where you get item level or stats. Because you look at equipment and mount passive powers, and they give such significantly higher stats than enchantments do. I don't expect them to be increased a lot, but increased some would be pretty nice. I think a main concern of people right now is that, will I have the same amount of stats as before? And I feel like the answer is, just by reading this blog post, I feel like you will have slightly less than before. I don't think it will be a drastic change. That's another thing. I kind of interrupted myself. But I'm wondering if other enchantments will be more viable to put in your slots now, because you're not going to have as much of a bonus to all of your stats from the companion. Is it still going to be good or possible to just run all radiance to maximize power and HP and stuff, or will you actually need to kind of buff up your own stats with different kinds of enchantments? Interesting things we think about here on this channel. I mean, in my brain. Oh, I forgot one thing. Since companion influence is going away, companions are always going to transfer 100% of their ratings to the player. I believe this applies to fighting companions and augment companions, since it isn't specified that it is only augments or it doesn't include fighters, so I believe it's both. So that kind of raises the question, what benefit is there to using an augment? Since you only gain 15% more rating to those 3 stats, that can be easily made up in other areas, so I don't know if an augment companion is even going to be worth using anymore. I know this was something that happened in the past where augment companions were good and then they were just garbage for so long, and then they were really good again, and now they're probably going to become kind of bad again. It's just like a roller coaster of companions right now. The whole general idea of these changes is to make item level a more accurate representation of a character's capability. Now, as to how this will actually impact that, I'm not entirely sure, but I do think that we will lose item level because, you know, botting runestones give a lot of item level. There's another thing listed here that I spent a long time trying to figure out what it meant. I asked someone else, and they didn't know what it meant either. But eventually someone figured out that companion ACBs probably means active companion bonuses, like the 5 bonuses that you pick, the offense, defensive, and utility ones, the different slots that you have. Those are going to go up in item level as well, and then they will give more stats as well. So I'm not entirely sure how this is going to impact my character personally, other people's characters, or anything like that. That's something that we will only be able to find out once this goes on preview and we can experiment a little bit with the changes and see how that's actually going to affect our characters and what changes we need to make to compensate for that. But the auction house is already kind of a dumpster fire for certain items because people are panic buying and selling to, you know, either make AD or try to save everything they have. You know, like dark enchantments, for example, are apparently going down a lot on the auction house, and bonding prices are going up a lot because you can exchange them for AD at rank 15, 2.6 mil. I don't know. I don't want to make too many guesses and assumptions as to what's going to happen or how it's going to affect things in general until I get to see it. I know a lot of people, when they see a change, they're like, oh my god, a change I don't understand, or I don't know how it's going to affect me. Time to get mad and confused and frustrated and concerned, which some of those emotions are pretty valid. Whenever you see a change, a big change that's going to affect you a lot, it's natural to be concerned, maybe a bit frustrated because you spent some time working on upgrading those bondings. But this is just kind of a heads up type thing, and we won't really know for sure what's going to happen or how it's going to affect us until we get to see it on preview and then see it go live as well. It's also possible that some things could change a little bit between now and the time it goes live as well. So after it goes on preview and we give some feedback and stuff. So always keep your brain hole open to new things. It's difficult sometimes, very much difficult sometimes, but I don't know, I feel like this change will be okay. I don't think it's going to be super bad. But, you know, I've been wrong before. I've also been right before. So I guess we'll have to see. Anyways, I'm done talking nonsense. You don't have to listen to me anymore. I should talk about why I haven't really posted anything for almost 2 months. And that's mainly because of a couple things. One, I was kind of caught up with farming for the milestone. As you can see, I have the Golden Wings top 100 milestone for milestone 4. That was very difficult. And there was like 30 people that helped that happen. And I'm really grateful to those people because these wings are pretty epic. I've had my heart set on these for many months. But there was that. I didn't really feel like making a video for a while, which I consider perfectly fine since this is a hobby of mine anyways. And thirdly, I was just playing the game as a player, from the perspective of a player, which you may think is not really that different, but it kind of is, because as a content creator, you're always looking for content to create because, you know, you're a content creator. And if you have a break from that and you're able to just experience the game as a player and not have to worry about that, that kind of takes a little bit of worry and stress away and just allows you to kind of enjoy it and focus on aspects of the game a little bit better. So that's what I did. And going forward, I'm taking this channel a lot more casually than before, because if I don't feel like posting a video about something, I'm not going to. That's just kind of how it's going to be because that's how I am. I want to try out some other games, and having to make videos or feeling the need to make videos regularly on top of, you know, keeping up in game and keeping my character up to date, working on my other characters doesn't leave much time for that. Especially because the holidays are coming up and I've got a job that gets really busy during the holidays. So that's kind of where I've been. So hopefully you all understand and aren't too sad and worried and afraid that I left for a little bit. But have no fear because I will be here for the important stuff, of course. I love covering important updates and fun things like that. I plan on making, as far as fun videos go, I would like to make a little cinematic thing about these wings because I think that would be really cool. And I love the wings a lot. They're a pretty important achievement for me in the game, so I plan on doing that sometime soon. So other than that, I don't have any plans for videos at the moment until December, because I do some of the same videos every year. If you look back at my channel, you will see like what I wanted from Neverwinter in the previous year, what I want for Neverwinter in the next year. I don't know if I'll call them that this year, but you know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking now. I've been talking way too much. I hope you've enjoyed looking at my wings this long time because they're pretty beautiful. Hopefully you all are having a fantastic day or night or evening or, you know, fantastic existence. And I'm gonna leave now. Okay, bye.